So anyway, I was trying to find my microphone, but I cannot seem to find it anywhere, so I hope the audio on this is okay. But anyway, so I kind of shut the door on the whole dating thing, because like when I was in high school, I really didn't have time for dating because I was busy taking care of relatives, and I was like, up until my 30s, I was busy kind of taking care of relatives, handling things like that, and I'm like, I'm not going to put someone else through having to deal with my life being somewhat a little busy and chaotic. I'm just going to deal with this myself, and then maybe someday that will be an option for me. And I really didn't care that much, honestly, at that point. And I still really don't care that much. It's like, I'm really happy being by myself. I mean, some people are like, oh, aren't you lonely? Or, oh, and I'm like, I really don't feel bad about being by myself. And I'm going to have my kids here in like, 5-10 years or so. So I'm like, my house will have noise and laughter and great conversation. Now, I will say the only thing that I feel somewhat bad about is I'm like, well, if you are supposed to be with someone on this planet, and I'm like, I really don't want to not be there for them. I'm like, that would be catastrophic. So I think that's the main thing about dating. Because I'm like, there are times when I sit there and go, oh, life is so good. It would be so good to sit there and go, this boba is fabulous. Do you want some? Or look at that mountain. Can you believe how awesome that mountain is? I mean, I have weird things that cross my mind, but I mean, of all the things that I think of when it comes to dating, it's like, that's the thing that really I sit there and go, it would be nice to be able to share those moments with someone, as long as they, liked mountains and boba tea, big if there. And also, I'm like, I'm in my 30s, and I'm very independent, and I really like Asian BL drama, which apparently is kind of a turnoff for a lot of guys. So I'm like, it would have to be a rare person who would want to be with me. And also, I mean, most days my hair is a frizzy mess and I'm wearing Bazinga t-shirts and sneakers. So I'm like, I'm never going to be the makeup person that most women are. And I really don't care about that too much. But I kind of shut the door on dating last year because I was like, after the not date meet and the somewhat weird humanoid who only knew me for 2 weeks and wanted to plan out marriage and, moving in together, I'm like, and I'm not against marriage or being with someone, but I just need more time than, that's something we could discuss in 6 months, 12 months. It really depends on my comfort zone levels, which depends on the humanoids and how I feel about them. But anyway, so that was my dating experience, which is extremely limited, and I kind of got it. And my best friend's like, Anna, so you're busy with work, you're working like 2 or 3 jobs, you're doing X, Y, or Z, you're taking care of the kiddos on the weekend, and how's the dating going? He was asking me this in summer, like on June on my birthday, and I was like, honestly, Mr. R, I just kind of put a can on that. I'm like, I just don't have time for that. It's complicated. I don't like complicated. I don't like uncertain things. And I don't like dealing with, I don't mean it bad, but I'm like, I have a weird gift. It's like I can look at a picture on a dating app and go, they like hookups, they like hookups, they like hookups. I don't even have to scroll down. And like 95% of the time, I am right. It's not a nice gift to have, but it's like, if they're not wearing their shirt, if they're wearing round glasses and trying to look somewhat like an anime character, if their hair is very brushed, they like hookups. Or if they're slightly what the world would determine as, I don't know how to say this nicely, but I don't really think about how people look at something, sit there and go, oh, culturally, he's what most people would want to date. Those kind of people always want hookups. And I was sitting there and I was like, I don't even know why I have this weird gift, because I don't really want this weird gift. I'm like, I don't date. I really don't care about that thing. I think about it on some weird day when I'm sitting there by the mountain going, this is awesome. This boba tea is fabulous. It would be so nice to be able to share this experience with someone so they too could enjoy this, although they would not enjoy it in the same way perhaps. This would be cool to share with them. Or like the kiddos, because I'm like, I'm going to have 2 to 3 awesome little ones, and I'm like, someone else could be there to enjoy that time with. I'm sure we'll have moments of complete mayhem, but I'm like, overall, I'm like, that would be cool to share with someone if they wanted to, but also I'm good not sharing that too. I mean, how do I say this? I mean, I'm just kind of weird that way. But anyway, I was sitting there this last week, and again, it was because of a Taiwanese drama, because the whole thing that made me consider dating after deciding not to for like literally my entire life. And also when I was 30, I got some notices about my health, and I was like, well, you're probably not going to be able to have bio kids. You could have some health conditions later on in life that could be slightly inconveniencing to another person. So it's better just to deal with that on your own and not have somebody else. Not like life-threatening issues, just like, stuff that comes up with health. And so I was like, okay, it will be easier to not inconvenience someone. I'm sure if there is one perfect person for everyone on the planet, the person who is perfect for me has found their perfect elsewhere. It's okay. But then I was like, yeah, gonna work on my job, gonna do this, this, and this, and this. And then, Bob came to me one day and she flopped on the sofa and she's like, we need to talk. And I'm like, okay, what do we need to talk about? Because I'm like, whenever Bob said we need to talk, I'm like, okay, what's up? Did something catastrophic happen? Did a character in your manga die? Did the anime end sadly? What's going on? And she's like, I know you don't want to date. I said, no, I really don't want to date. Why are we bringing up dating? I'm like, we could watch a Big Bang Theory right now. And she's like, no, we need to talk about this. And I'm like, okay. Why do we need to talk about this? And she said, I know you're perfectly fine by yourself. You don't need someone there to be there for emotional support or financial support. And you are a fiercely independent, very capable woman. And I'm like, yes, I am. Thank you, Bob. And what is your point to all this? And she's like, but you do realize that your presence is important and you could be there for someone else. And if they don't have that presence, they're missing out on that. And I'm like, I don't mean it bad, Bob, but I said, most guys are not looking for presence in a woman. They're looking for, nice appearance, non-frizzy hair, maybe. I don't know. I don't know when this is going to end. I've kind of given up on my hair. It's like, I love Taiwan, but the atmosphere does not agree with my hair. I don't know. So anyway. So, but I was like, that's a lovely thought, but nobody wants to date someone for presence. They want to date them for other reasons, typically. I mean, I would totally date someone for presence, but, yeah, I don't really have met anyone else who would. But anyway, she's like, well, just don't slam the door shut like you tend to do when something is intimidating or annoying to you. And I'm like, I will bear that in mind and keep that in my back pocket, but I probably won't pull that out again anytime soon. She's like, okay, I'm glad we had this talk. I've cleansed. I'm like, good for you. Go be free. So anyway, segue down the road a few months, and my best friend is on the phone with me. We're talking about anime. We're talking about Comic Cons. We're talking about, pie in the sky. And he's like, Anna, I know you don't date. I know this really isn't something that even comes up very often. But maybe you should consider it because you are an interesting person and you would never be a boring companion. And I'm like, that is true, but people don't want interesting companions. They tend to want other things, Rishikesh. And he's like, well, just consider this. And I'm like, okay, I will consider this. And then, 6 months more later, I had another very trusted, deeply, I really like them. They're a really good friend. I consider them family, and they're telling me the same darn thing. I'm like, that's lovely, but I'm really good. I really am. Actually, they said it about the same time as Mr. R. But anyway, so segue down 6 months down the road. I'm watching a Taiwanese drama. I Do Be Loved in House. I'm like, what if I'm not there for someone on the tire string, and I'm supposed to be there for someone on the tire string? And I'm like, interesting. So that led me to put up my dating profile on several websites. But after, I think it was 3 months, I was like, I hate this. I don't dislike it. I'm sick of people sending me messages that are either rude or uncouth, or they haven't read my profile. And I don't mean rude. I spend a great deal of time on my profile. I put down, bullet points of everything I can think of that could possibly be important for someone to know should they want to date me. I'm like, it's this, this, this. And lest we forget there's this, and this, and this. And I'm like, and by the way, I hardly talk at all in person, but I want to make sure everything's clear on the profile so that I don't tell them this, but I'm like, so that you don't message me something stupid like hookups are, I'm like, no, read the profile and don't send me a message that's stupid. I don't say that, but I feel it intensely when I think of dating sites. But anyway, after 3 months, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This isn't giving me any kind of inner peace or making me feel like maybe I found the person I'm supposed to be there on the tire swing for, and I'm just giving this up because I find it bloody annoying. And so I did give it up. Now, I will say also, though, the thing that I have come to realize about myself, and I'm not very good at self-introspection because I lived around people when I was growing up who were very hypothetical, and I'm more of a, how do I say this? I'm more of a think it through and then act on it kind of person. And so, because I saw people who didn't act on things, and it kind of was like, oh, yeah. But anyway, I'm like, they live their lives, I live my lives. But anyway, I'm just saying. So for me, I was like, I think that the other thing is I tend to avoid things that I think could cause me trouble or that could inconvenience other people. And I mean, no offense, but when you think about dating, when you think about relationships with other people, it's like, what if this doesn't work out? What if this ends in a terrible disaster? What if, all these things? Like, I'm not a hypothetical person, but when it comes to this kind of thing, I'm like, there are so many things that could go wrong with a scenario, even if both people are trying very, very hard. And then I'm like, it's just not worth it. I'm going to do my studies, I'm going to work on my teaching, and, if somebody happens across my path and I happen across theirs, whoop-de-doo, maybe I'll share a boba in the mountain experience with them. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, about a week ago, I was finishing up the last episode of another Taiwanese drama called My Tooth Your Love, which it has a terrible translation in English. It sounds much better in Chinese, but it's basically about someone who ends up falling for someone who is a dentist. I don't know why they translate it that way in English. I forgot what it means in Mandarin. It will come to me, but probably not before the end of this video. So anyway, I was watching the end of that, and at the end of the video, the end of the series, they have this little clip of basically, we build our lives, we bring people into our lives, people come into our lives, and at the end of this, they said, thank you for showing up, because at the end of the day, it's really about people being present. And I'm like, number one, this is why I love Taiwanese dramas. I mean, really, I absolutely adore them because they really are about people ending up together because of presence. And I'm like, I really like that thought. And I was sitting there going, I like that. Thank you for showing up. That is a good thought. I'm like, I'm really glad for all the friends in my life who showed up. I'm really glad even for the enemies in my life who showed up, which are rare, but we all have them. And I'm like, I'm really glad because they taught me something. And I'm like, I'm really glad that the good has shown up in my life. And I'm like, Anna, maybe you should revisit the boba mountain sharing thingy one more time. And I'm like, you don't go out. So you're not, like, I don't mean it weird, but the chances of me ending up dating someone that I meet in, like, day-to-day life is slim to nil. There are many reasons for this, but number one, I just really don't interact with a lot of people that would be wanting to date either, and I don't really want to date myself. And I'm like, you know, it's so unlikely. So I was like, okay, Anna, maybe you should revisit dating app. Put up, your profile, clean it up a bit, make it so that it's kind of, someone has to really, really find it interesting for them to even message you, and then see what happens. So I'm like, I will do that. I really don't expect anything to come from this experience. I did update my profile. I made it. I wish brevity were the sole wit for me, but it's not, because I'm like, I want to make sure they know this, this, and this. I want to make sure they know this. I'm like, I don't drink. I am not interested in hookups. I'm a demisexual. If you don't know what that means, you probably need to Google it, because it's kind of important. I do plan on dividing my time between a couple of different countries. I do plan on adopting children, but probably will not be able to have some of my own that are biological. So if this is a problem for you, please don't message me asking about this, which seems to be a problem. I don't know why. And I'm like, those kind of things. I have asthma, didn't think that would be a big deal, but for some people apparently it is. And I'm like, and I have hearing issues. So if any of these are, a bugaboo for you, please just read the profile. The thing that amazes me though is I'm like, last year I took this as such a serious thing. I was like, if I don't do this right, maybe all hell will break loose. Because I approach life very, everything must line up perfectly. I'm not a perfectionist, but I am a high functioning autistic, I think, and that is one of the reasons. It's like, it's very hard for me to just be laid back about things. I mean, really, it's like, but I am getting better at it. There's like, this time, I don't mean it weird. It was like, I did update my profile. I did put, newer pictures on. I did all that. But I'm like, this time, I was like, people are funny. I mean, no offense. I'm like, even if nothing comes of this, I'm like, I like going on there on occasion and looking at the profiles and going, putting in your intro NBA and just that, I'm like, NBA what? I'm like, or, some of them just say like, hi, and then a lot of characters, and I'm like, we know that you have to put 50 characters in your intro in order for OkCupid to let you on the site, but maybe if you really are interested in a long-term relationship, you should consider putting more than hi. I don't get that. I'm just sitting there going, people are funny. I mean, I don't know what the women's looks like. I really am curious, because I'm like, I think most women would spend more time on their profile, because they, like me, are sitting there going, we want to make sure everything's clear. We want to make sure everything's lined out. We want to make sure not to be gender weird, because I have all my friends who are guys would make very linear profiles if they did do a dating app, which I'm not sure they would do, but I think one of them did. But anyway, but I'm like, it's kind of important. But I find it interesting, because if I want a good laugh, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. So it's not that kind of thing. But I'm sitting there going, someone could make a killing off of being the person to go in and polish up these profiles, because nobody, I don't think, is going to click on some of these. I mean, I'm going, maybe? I don't know. I'm like, I'm just saying, I find it kind of funny. And the other thing I think is interesting is I'm like, okay, like some of them I'm like, they're just so off the wall. It's like you'll have this guy that, I mean, no offense, I'm like, he must think he's some kind of Italian, I don't know, like, what do they call them? I can't think of, it's not Playboy. Um, there's an Italian word for it, which is escaping my mind. But anyway, I'm like, they think they're such a ladies' man, and I'm going, I don't know where you get that idea from, because I really don't see a lot of women running after you. Not because you're bad looking, but just because if you're anything like your profile suggests, your personality would be pretty repulsive. I mean, I don't mean it bad. So I just wanted to show you because I sit there and go, huh? Are the ones who say, like, I'm Christian and it's very important and I'm interested in hookups, and I'm sitting there going, if being a Christian is really important, from what I understand of that religion, hookups are not something that you would do. And so I'm sitting there going, I'm confused. I mean, no offense, it's like, I'm really confused. I really don't see a lot of the Buddhists or the Hindus doing that too much. I have seen a few of the Buddhists on occasion when I'm looking through OkCupids, but I'm like, you know, the Christians seem very fond of checking that one, and I'm like, did you read the Bible any time in like the last 4,000 years? Because I don't think anywhere it says that that's what, if it's extremely important to you, you would do. I mean, not to be bad, I'm just sitting there going, I'm confused, because you say one thing and then you say another, and, well, what really is it? So anyway, I'm like, I don't really understand the hookup culture either, because I'm going, you know, I can think of a lot of ways to die, but I really don't want to think about dying with STDs, or, you know, not being able to recall how many people you've been with, which I'm like, that kind of, that's disturbing to me. But anyway, so I guess at the end of this long ramble, though, the thing is I am getting better at sitting there and going, you know, I'm not saying that I will ever probably, I mean, I was sitting there today going, Anna, I know you updated your profile. I know that you have made it very clear and concise and bullet pointed and linear, and all the pictures match and all that. And I know that you've gotten, like, I don't know, like, I don't remember, like 125 likes. And like, I put on the profile, I cannot see likes. So, you know, if you would like to chat with me, send a message. I'm like, I don't know if no one reads the top intro. I really do wonder sometimes. But I'm like, you know, nothing may come of that. But at least I will sit there and go, you know, Anna, that was intimidating you. You're no longer letting it intimidate you. It's okay. I mean, really. And you know, the funny thing is I had, when I was traveling, I always carry with me, I mean, I know this sounds weird, but I have it for my kids too. But I have like a small bag of like a handful of things I have gathered throughout my life that were for if I ever have a special person, this is their stuff. The funny thing is, though, is I lost that bag on this trip. It's not like a huge thing because I can get back everything that was in that bag. It's an inconvenience and an annoyance, and it's like I've had that bag for quite a while, and I'm going, I cannot believe I lost that tiny bag somewhere. I mean, it was nothing like private matters or anything. It was just a few things I was like, you know, it's kind of like those Bourchier Mountains. I was saying there going, if I ever meet someone, this would be perfect for them. So I'm getting it now because I want to make sure I have it, even though I think that's highly unlikely. I did the same thing for my kids, which I know I'll have. So I'm like, that I have in a special box somewhere else, because I'm like, they're coming in like 5 to 10 years. I have no idea if Mr. So-and-so is coming, but I was taking that bag with me. But I'm like, I cannot find the bag. I'm going, you know what would be really bloody hilarious is if I actually do meet someone in the next year or two, and they are the person, and I don't have that bag. I'm like, that is annoying. That is like really, really annoying to the nth degree. But it's okay. I will find inner peace. I will find Zen in the midst of that. But I will say, for the past week, I've been sitting there going, Anna, where is the frickin' bag? I mean, I hardly ever say frickin', but I'm like, it's really annoying to me because I'm going, I had it. I know I would not have put it somewhere that was not careful, but I really think it might have fallen out of one of my bags somehow is the only thing I can logically explain happened to it, because I have been through everything. I have sorted through the stacks. The only thing I can think of is like if it fell behind some furniture or something. So I'm going to move things out before I leave to check. But I'm like, I really have no idea what happened to that. It was like a tiny little bag that had like a couple of cards in it, pendant of some sort, and then some other stuff. And I can get everything back. And it was only cost me like maybe $60. But I'm like, it's not the cost of them things, it's the principle of the fact that I cannot believe I lost that freaking bag. But anyway, I'm like, and you know, if I never meet anyone, I'm like, I don't have to worry about it. It's one thing off the list. Not to be negative or anything, I'm just saying. So that's what this video ramble is about. But I think the main thing that I want to say in this video is I think that oftentimes if we feel compelled not to do something because we are afraid of it, are unsure of it, or feel bad about it in some way because, you know, something could happen that could be negative, I think we need to reevaluate, because I don't think necessarily that I still don't like dating sites. I find them annoying. I find them slightly humorous on a kind of a dark humor level that might not be the best of things. But I still think that if I am not doing something because I am stressed out about it or worried about something that could go wrong, ergo, I maybe need to face that fear. It doesn't mean I should go out and date 5 people, because I never do that as a demisexual. That's not going to happen. But at once, I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't date 5 people over a lifetime. That'd be a high number for me, but yeah. But anyway, my point is that I don't think we should make our decisions based on fear, but we should be as practical as possible and also base them on logic. It's like tomorrow, I have a decision to make. I want to see Wei Huang in concert. Wei Huang is going to be at a New Year's Eve party at a very upscale part of Taipei. It has a dress code. You have to dress in silver and wear a medal or whatever. And I'm like, Anna, you don't have that kind of clothing. You do not like going to dress code events. You've never been to a New Year's Eve party. I hardly ever go to any parties. I've been to like 2 weddings in my life. So I'm like, and my hair is frizzy. Okay, I mean, really, my hair is frizzy. I'm like, you can't go to race thingy, even though it's free, because you have to wear silver and a dress code and I'm like, I was sitting there about 3 hours ago and I was like, this is based on your stress level. This is not based on you being practical. So I went back to my wardrobe. I found a very nice pair of hand-dyed jeans, a very nice silver blue shirt, and some really cool shoes. And I was like, and I can wear my K-pop stainless steel studded earrings and a really nice silver necklace, and I can go to the frickin' event if I want to, because it's only going to be an hour from my home, and I can come back by 8 or 9 o'clock, and the trains don't stop running until 11. I'm like, I can do this if I want to. And I'm going, yes, you can. And if you want, you can case the joint, which I probably will be doing, and sitting there and going, okay, I'm going to go around the event, kind of look and act like I'm, going to the shop nearby. I'm sure there's a shop nearby that I can kind of look in and like, oh, how interesting is this? If I feel uncomfortable going to the event. Because I'm like, I really think that my problem is I really overthink things to the nth degree. It's like it's a superpower that I really don't want to have. And I'm going, because I was looking at the pictures, I'm like, you don't have the Taiwanese kind of suit that Ray is wearing and suggesting the dress code and all this. And I'm like, I doubt hardly anyone has that suit that Ray is wearing. I mean, I'm not trying to be bad to Ray. I think it was a great outfit. No offense. I'm like, it's a really cool outfit. I would totally wear that if I could. But I'm like, it would not look the same on me as it looks on him. I mean, no offense. I'm like, totally different body types. I like guy clothes. I mean, it's not because I like, how does this? I find guy clothes more comfortable than girl clothes oftentimes, and so I tend to gravitate toward guy clothes. Or if I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh, that guy is wearing a very nice hoodie. Or, oh, I like those jeans on that guy. It was like I was at the concert on the 18th and I saw this kid and he was wearing these really cool jeans. And I was like, I really want to go up and ask him, where did you get your jeans? Because I want those. I mean, but I thought he would probably take that wrong. And I don't know how to say that in Mandarin in a nice way. So I'm like, I'm not going to ask him where he got his jeans. But boy, those were cool jeans. I mean, they had these cool, like, parts on the side. I mean, I was like, wow, those are cool jeans. So I was looking at Ray's outfit. I was like, that's a really cool outfit. But I'm like, I have nothing that looks even remotely like that. And then I'm sitting there tonight and I'm going, Onna, you do realize that Ray is performing at the frickin' event, so of course he's going to be wearing something that no one else is going to be wearing at the event. I'm like, ah, that is true. I'm like, I honestly haven't seen anyone wear that outfit anywhere in Taiwan. And I'm going, nope. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I might be getting on that subway and going on the Xinji line to, I forgot what it's called, but anyway, I might be going at around 6 o'clock because I'm like, that is something I can actually get to. It's tomorrow night. I'm not saying I will, but I'm not saying I won't. So, who knows? We'll know by tomorrow night. We'll see.